This is your daily news report and your third stimulus check update and your stimulus package update as of Monday, February 15th. The impeachment trial is over, and as expected, Donald Trump has been acquitted. The politicians, they can now focus on the stimulus package, but instead, they have decided that now is a good time to go on vacation. The politicians have left work, and their reason cited was district work. But before the politicians can even vote, the Democrats, they need to resolve the fighting within their own party, which we'll get into. Donald Trump is at home in Mar-a-Lago celebrating his victory. Leader of the Republicans in the Senate, Mitch McConnell, blamed Donald Trump for the riots, but he still voted not to convict Trump. The Democrat senators said McConnell made a cowardly choice. The White House is invoking the Defense Production Act, which forces private companies to make certain products. Pfizer says that they're going to be able to deliver 2 billion doses of the COVID vaccine by the end of this year because they improved their manufacturing system. In our current events section, we'll go over some text messaging etiquette for the younger generation and also more information about the guy who bought a Lamborghini with his falsified stimulus money from the PPP program. This is your Monday News, and I hope you're having a very nice day. Last week, the House Ways and Means Committee, they voted and approved the section of the stimulus bill dealing with the $1,400 stimulus checks. That finalized section is now with the House Budget Committee, where it is waiting to be combined with other parts of the bill. Now that Trump's impeachment trial is over, that means that Congress, they can now focus on the stimulus bill. Unfortunately, the House of Representatives and the Senate, they had decided that this week was a good week to take a vacation. The politicians, they will be back from vacation on Monday, February 22nd. But Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi says that she is determined to get the stimulus bill on President Biden's desk by the end of February, which is only 13 days away. So that is a very aggressive timeline. The other politicians, they're saying that they think that the stimulus bill is going to pass around March 14th. That's also when the federal unemployment boost runs out, which is another reason why it is so important that the stimulus bill passes as soon as possible. This is a big problem for our schools and for our children as well, because the stimulus package is going to give a lot of money to schools to help them reopen safely. Dr. Anthony Fauci said schools are in desperate need of stimulus funding because they lack the money to implement CDC guidelines. There are a lot of good things in this stimulus package to help American families. There are stimulus checks, federal unemployment benefits, money to help reopen schools, money for child tax credit payments, money to fight against COVID-19 directly, and so many other good things. So the longer that the politicians drag this out, the more harm and damage it's going to cause to the American people. In terms of what can delay the stimulus package even further, besides the politicians taking vacations, is a potential battle over the $15 minimum wage. Senator Bernie Sanders insists on adding this to the stimulus bill. Sanders said, "We got millions of workers working for starvation wages. We've got to raise the minimum wage to a livable $15 an hour, and that's what the American people want, and that's what I intend to do." Currently, 2 Democrat senators are fiercely opposing the $15 minimum wage, Senators Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema. Sinema says that the $15 minimum wage is not directly related to COVID relief, and she's not going to support it in this legislation. The Senate Democrats, they really need to deal with the situation and get this figured out because Sanders keeps pushing for this and he's not letting it go. And Manchin and Sinema, they are saying that they're not going to support it. So the Democrat leadership really needs to address this because it's a growing problem and it's a growing concern. All 50 Democrat senators must vote yes, otherwise the stimulus bill will die in the Senate and all of this will be for nothing. In political news, after just 5 days, Donald Trump was acquitted by the Senate on a vote of 57-43. The impeachment trial, it ended quicker than expected because the House impeachment managers decided not to call on any witnesses. The impeachment managers, they said that the trial could have taken years if they did call on witnesses. On Sunday, Congressman Joe Neguse said that many witnesses threatened to fight their subpoenas because they didn't want to testify. So it is not an exaggeration that the trial, it could have went on for months or even for years if the House of Representatives litigated each and every subpoena. A House impeachment manager, Stacey Plaskett, said she was disappointed with Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. That's because McConnell said after the trial, there's no question that Trump is practically and morally responsible for provoking the events of the day, no question about it. But McConnell, he insisted that Trump's responsibility did not matter in the case because the Constitution does not allow for the impeachment of a former president. Therefore, McConnell blamed Donald Trump, but he still voted not guilty. The House impeachment managers said McConnell made his decision based on that technicality, and this was a cowardly choice. However, McConnell did emphasize that Trump was still liable for his actions. McConnell said, "We have a criminal justice system in this country. We have civil litigation, and former presidents are not immune from being held accountable by either one." So McConnell is basically saying that besides impeachments, that people can still sue Donald Trump. Donald Trump was busy celebrating his second acquittal at his Mar-a-Lago estate. Donald Trump says that he wants to thank the 75 million Americans that voted for him for your support. According to Senator Lindsey Graham, Donald Trump is ready to move on and rebuild the Republican Party. Senator Graham says that Trump is mad at some folks, referring to the Republican senators who voted to impeach him, including Mitt Romney, Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, and Ben Sasse. Regarding the COVID-19 news, Pfizer says that they're aiming to deliver 2 billion doses of their COVID vaccine by the end of 2021. Pfizer says that they made improvements to their manufacturing system, which will allow them to double their batch sizes. Pfizer also said that their vaccines will be effective against the mutated COVID strains from the UK, South Africa, and Brazil. Mike McDermott, Pfizer's president of global supply, said that the vaccine's RNA genetic code can be quickly modified to fight against any new mutated strains. In the United States, we reported 64,194 new cases and 1,084 fatalities on Sunday. This is according to Johns Hopkins University. That's the news for today. If you enjoyed today's report, please subscribe, and I thank you so much for your support.